What is time management all about? Time is precious, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day, and it's always ticking away. Time management is all about figuring out how long task will take, setting deadlines, and juggling conflicts to get things done on time. It's more about tackling the most important tasks first rather than just doing more. Why should you care about time management? For both individuals and teams, time management has some pretty sweet perks: higher productivity, lower stress, enhanced quality of work, better forecasting. So, when you organize your work better, you focus on what's important and you make the best use of your energy to get more done. This is how you get higher productivity. Balance work and life better and avoid last minute rushes by planning smartly, which will help you keep your stress levels down. When you're not constantly rushing, you can avoid mistakes and pay more attention to details, which leads to better work quality. Regularly estimating tasks helps you get better at predicting outcomes and managing expectations. Now, we all have worked or still work in the corporate world where you're juggling so many things are happening all the time. And it's not necessarily about doing things quickly, it's about doing them right and managing expectations. So when you're thinking about managing your own brand with your internal or external customer, they might be some of your stakeholders, being able to actually forecast, the time that you need will really help you with, having that internal brand, the best brand you can ever possibly have, because you're going to be managing expectations. And that's something that applies to salespeople as well. When you're working with existing customers or even prospects, being able to deliver on time is critical. So mastering time management can really boost your confidence as you meet deadlines and you achieve your goals. It makes dealing with life's complexities easier. While it takes some more efforts to learn, like I totally get it, but the benefits far outweigh the challenges. How do different cultures view time management? Now, think about, the context where you're working for international companies. Maybe you're a sales director, maybe you're a VP, EMEA VP, and you really have to manage culturally like such a diverse team. Or you might even have people that are in other region of the world, not located where you are. So understanding their views on time management is quite important. That could be a great value to you. So we identify typically three time views: the linear time view, the multi-active, and then the cyclical time view. Now try to guess, which regions those time views belong to. I'm just curious to know if you can guess. So typically in America and Northern Europe, time is seen as a sequence of events. So that's your linear time view. People here value efficient time management and focus on one task at a time. Multi-active time view. Now, maybe before I go there, that reminds me of my time working in Switzerland, my first week in Switzerland. So that's Northern Europe, right? So I was just waiting for the bus, and I was really impressed to see that the bus was on time, but to the very second, so, which for me was was a first because I belong and grew up in a part of the world where the 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 view on time was more multi-active, and this is typically your Southern Europe multitasking view. So it's all about, people are prioritizing important activities like social interactions and focus more on the quality of meetings. It's more that, and how long they last is not the priority. It's the quality of the meetings, and these are things you typically see in Southern Europe. And then you have your cyclical time view that is common in Asia. And this is that perspective sees time as repetitive. So people really emphasize doing tasks correctly, and they make careful decisions because they know that time will come around again. So reflect on that and see maybe how that could impact the way you manage different teams that you have. Now, last but not least, it's really important to think about, those different approaches to time management. So there are so many different approaches, but today I'm only going to focus on three of them. The first one is the ABC analysis. We have the Pareto analysis. And last but not least, we have the Eisenhower method. Now, it's all about what really resonates with you and what really works for you. So we have the ABC analysis, and it's all about, putting tasks into those three buckets, A, B, or C. So A is high priority, urgent. That's typically something that your boss asks you to do, maybe ask you 2 days ago, and it's super important. So you're going to focus on that. That's your priority A. You have your priority B, which is important but not urgent. So as a sales manager, I had my forecast on Wednesday morning. That was important. So that was something I was always preparing for. So I would make sure that I had time, that I was protecting my time to have slots in my calendar for me to prepare and prioritize. So I would be ready for that weekly meeting. So very important, not urgent. If today is, let's say, Thursday or Friday, that's not urgent, but that's important. So you need to make sure that you're ready for that. And then you have your bucket C, which are your low priority tasks. Now, one of my favorite approach is the Pareto analysis, and that's the one that I was using even without thinking about it because it made more sense to me. So I remember myself as a sales manager, I used to tell my team, guys, if it's not about creating pipeline, progressing pipeline, or closing that pipeline, it is not important. So for me, it was simple. It's 20% of those tasks that will give you 80% of the results. So for me, that was where, the value was, and that's where the focus needed to be. So that was prioritizing those activities related to those three things. So Pareto analysis is my favorite, But then you have one that is a bit more evolved, which is the Eisenhower method. Very kind of similar to the ABC analysis. That one is a bit more evolved. So you have kind of four categories, and you sort your task based on urgency and importance. So four categories: what is important, urgent. You do these now. So these are your super important things. Your boss has asked you to do something because he needs that information for the CRO or the super top leadership. So these are like your important, urgent. You do them now. You have your important, not urgent. So as I said earlier, when we were discussing the ABC analysis, that's probably in the ABC analysis your bucket B, which here would be important, not urgent. So you schedule these. So that's your forecast meeting that is happening every week, same day, same time. You need to make sure you're ready for that. So you're planning for that. You schedule those tasks. You have your unimportant but urgent task. You might delegate them, and that's totally fine. Um, I mean, I remember sometimes I had to hire people for my team, and for some of the meetings in the interview process, it was not necessary, it was not critical that I was in every single meeting. So I'd let senior members of my team maybe handle a specific part of the interview process, um, because I don't think those ones were typically important. I would be on the most important interview, but some of the others could be handled by other people in my team. So, um, and then you have your unimportant, not urgent. And these are the ones that you can clearly eliminate or at least postpone, because some of them are your real-time wasters. So hopefully these methods will help you prioritize effectively, manage your time well, and really achieve your goals, both at the personal and professional level. Because remember, time management, is impacted by everything. Not only work, you have other things going on at home with your family and partner. Now, we can't talk about time management without mentioning, and I'm just going to list them, some of the tools, the softwares that are out there for you. And there are so many of them. So I'm just going to list just a few. So you have, and you may decide just to go on a trial and see which one you like the most. So Active Collab, Harvest, ClickUp, Proof Hub, Clockify, and Toggle Track. So see what's best for you. Now, a lot of the time we talk about time management and we forget something that is, we are actually not machines. We are just humans, and it is important to manage your attention. It is as important, as crucial as managing your time. So think about your attention level when you schedule your task. Protect your work from your distraction. So I know, for instance, that my attention level is really the best from 9 to 11 in the morning. So I tend to really schedule my critical stuff where I really need brain power, and I make sure that I protect my time. I am not distracted, and I don't allow anything or anyone to distract me. This is my peak time. Another thing to keep in mind, or even to think about, because we're not always aware of that, is that you can actually boost your attention by improving your brain performance. Some people are going to think, "Oh, I'm going to drink a coffee." You may. Maybe coffee is not the only way or even the best way. Think about um, exercise. When I exercise in the morning, that really enhance my attention. Think about what you eat or when you eat. When I after my lunch, my especially if it was a heavier lunch, my attention, my brain performance goes down a bit. So make sure that you're aware of that. So you identify your pockets of attention, and you might even be able to create new pockets of attention. So these are things that we need to keep in mind. Now, we need to start thinking about our attention as a currency we spend. And this is a concept that actually Graham Olcott really talks about in his book, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. I actually highly recommend that book. And he actually identifies three types of attention: proactive attention, active attention, inactive attention. Now try to think, try to guess which attention is which, because it's pretty straightforward. So your proactive attention is when you are fully focused, you're in the zone, and you're ready to tackle your most important task. Like this is the best. Like this is my 9 to 11 after I've exercised. Maybe I was on my bike, and Jen, I started working not long after. Like this is precious, precious attention. This is energy almost. Now you have your active attention. This is when you're engaged, but you can still be easily distracted, which is still useful. So this is really still good quality attention. And then last but not, I would say last and kind of the least in that case, this is your inactive attention. So you're not really focused and you're just going through the motion. So for me, I can think of if I had as I said, heavy lunch, 1 to 2, I won't be really focused. Or on a Friday afternoon, I must admit, after 4, my attention starts to go down. So remember this, by managing both your time and attention, you can really maximize your productivity and achieve better results in everything you do. So I hope that today, this week, you're really going to leverage some of the kind of the tips and approaches that I've shared with you today. If you have other tips, techniques that I did not discuss today, I would love to hear from you. So feel free to ping me or just put something on the comments.